This is the Limestone Lowdown. Hear the sound, bring it live to the issues all around. From every corner, let's make it clear. The change we need is starting here.
Hey everybody, welcome to the latest episode of the Limestone Lowdown. Today we're going to talk about the November 24th, 2025 City Council meeting, which, gobble gobble, right before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And we actually left early
to go to
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, we didn't miss that much, but just the tail end of it.
Well, you would think that being the week of a holiday that they wouldn't have such a jam-packed city council meeting.
Come on now, it's nothing happens by accident. It's all intentional.
And it's crazy because
it was the same thing last year.
Well, not even that, but going back and look at like previous city council meetings, this is
the modus operandi,
normal occurrence that they have important stuff on.
Well, just wait, because, Christmas is coming up. What's that going to be like?
Well, and what's funny is they have there's one the week of Christmas, unless they move it. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, Christmas isn't until Thursday, so, but yeah,
still.
But, yeah, it'll be, there's another one. So, anyways, yeah, so we actually had a whole lot of, I didn't make it until the start of the meeting, and they were kind of running behind on the business meeting
because we left at 5 and it went on another 30 plus minutes after we left. We were listening to it.
Yeah.
What parts we could live.
Yeah, well, we didn't get to watch public comments if there were any because we had to leave. But this is the first one in 15 months that we haven't stayed the whole time for.
Cybert, I gave you props for being Ricky Tiki Tavi with the time, and then the third one or the second one, we just blew it out of the water.
Yeah.
So it's like, get back on that.
Well, they started on time, but they have to give a break in between.
I know, but I'm just saying it just kind of like drug. Like normally he's like, let's go. I guess because he's wanting to get out of there. I don't know, but
yeah. Well, that was something
we slipped a little bit this week.
That was something that you said. You're like, man, I'll give Cybert kudos. He did start at
that's what I'm saying.
Business meeting 4:00 on the dot, and the regular meeting at 4:30.
Let's rein it back in, guys. About that hour is about all anybody wants to sit there.
Well, yeah, I guess because there was so much they were maybe. But anyways, I didn't get there till later. Anyways, so we had quite a few public hearings. So we had a public hearing relating to a proposed ordinance to rezone 2.2 acres of property for Athens GCD LLC and Athens Investment from B2 to conventional planned unit development. Property is located directly south of Huntsville Browns Ferry Road and directly west of Saturn Drive. And we had a public hearing related to a proposed ordinance to rezone plus or minus 2.3 acres.
For the same thing.
Okay, yeah, for the same thing. And it's different areas, though. But, yeah, same thing. And then we had a public hearing relating to the proposed ordinance to rezone property for Wade Hayes, the point from low-density single-family residential to multifamily residential district and adopt a master plan. Property consists of 18 acres and is located directly south of Elm Street. Should they put in apartments there?
I don't have that either. Possibly. Because what's it say? Multifamily? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, multifamily residential district. Yes. That means apartments.
A public hearing related to a proposed resolution determining that a structure on North Clinton Street is unsafe and a public nuisance and ordering abatement of the same.
So we've ridden by that and we agree it needed some work. But the funny thing was that when Eric Waddell got up there and talked about it, he said they had to run a whole bunch of homeless people out. Mm-hmm. I didn't think we had a homeless problem though. Well,
we do. I mean, we've got.
We do. If we don't want to acknowledge it, it's still because unfortunately you drive around and you see there's a certain bench, like a picnic bench. There's always some lady on it, and then we've seen a couple at the little overlook in front of the
Farmers market.
farmers market. We've seen people
Well, we
sleeping
haven't.
there as
We
well.
saw them for like several weeks in a row, and then I'm guessing they may have like run them off because we haven't seen them since. But yeah, then there's that picnic table. We have a couple of the homeless camps
Yes.
too by Lowe's.
Over by the creek on the other side as well.
Well, you and I have actually been by this particular place before, and it does need to definitely be torn down. It is hazardous over there. I'm glad they are cleaning that up. But yeah, I mean, that is one of the things with the homeless is...
Again, we're not proposing a plan or whatever, but just to say it simply doesn't exist is not an option either, because it does exist. And what to do about it, we don't know, but to just not acknowledge it is not appropriate either. That's all we're saying.
Well, and I think that, they always put that back on the churches, like the churches need to, or that there's a couple organizations that help with the homeless, and that's where they kind of default to that, like these organizations. But again, the building needs to be torn down. I'm not saying it should be left there for the homeless, but it's like, where did they go from there? Like you ran them off, and you ran them off. To where?
To another vacant building somewhere?
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
yeah, that's all we're saying. Just, yeah.
So then there is a public hearing related to proposed resolution determining that a structure at 100 Sandifer Road is unsafe and a public nuisance and ordering an abatement of the same.
But hold on, back to the other one. It's going to cost $30,000 to tear that building down.
Okay.
Is what they approved. So $30K.
I think that's pretty standard for. They kind of have like a standard fee, and then if it goes over it might have been less. I don't know, because that was a big building over there. So yeah, so then there's this 100 Sandifer, and we have talked about this as the Bonnie Doon apartment complex. This is one of the complexes over there. I don't know if there's like 4 or 8 or however many, but there was a fire there. We've actually done a podcast episode from another city council meeting that there was a gentleman that came and spoke about these apartment complexes and how the owners are not taking care of the
there's
building.
Not a property manager that normally a property manager sits on site and helps with whatever, and there hasn't been one there for a while, is our understanding, and it's just kind of gone into big decline. The grass gets tall, and it's almost like the city has to threaten them to to do anything. Like, they look pretty bad, and then you've got this half burned down, at least it's in the back, a whole section of apartments, and it is just a hazard. It is just an eyesore and everything else. So we're glad
that, but I do, you just hate that you have to wait the 6 months because obviously the building has been neglected. And then I think that just the gentleman that came and spoke a few months back, he was just talking about the tenants, like not having like proper heat and air. There was mold because of that. And it's like the city really can't enforce those types of things. But I think that if they were to go through like the Section 8 through the Decatur office, even reporting that, well, then they could end up losing their Section 8 vouchers because it's not going to pass.
Yeah, we've talked about that before. It's like, how much do you press? Because it's like you have people in, substandard housing, but then, if you enforce it versus not enforcing it and moving people out, not having anywhere to go, it's like a very delicate line to go.
It is, because then if they lose their vouchers, then they have to go find somewhere else. And then if we don't have any available Section 8 houses here, then they have to either go somewhere else or they don't have anywhere to go. But then, if they are receiving money, the building owner is receiving government funds where they're supposed to be keeping a minimum standard. So, yeah, it's just a very fine line on what do you do and how do you try to get these people help. But this is not about the entire complex. This is just about one section.
Well, it is, because obviously the other issues as well. But at least they're cleaning this part up. So
for them to condemn this property, it's not the entire complex. Exactly. It's just one of the complexes in there. I think like 6 or 8.
Because Mr. Woodruff got up and asked that direct question.
Yes, Mr. Woodruff
he
did.
Wanted to make sure that it was just that and it doesn't affect any of the rest
He
of
asked
them.
if there was going to be people
And
displaced.
then Eric Waddell said, well, the ones the ones that were living in that has obviously already been displaced, but nobody else would be.
Yep. So that was all for public hearings.
No, you missed one. 11E.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, P86.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Public hearing relating to the zoning approval for the sale of alcohol in the city of Athens by 5 points. This is at 218 South Madison Street.
So for everybody that lives here, they will know it. It's the building, the white building that has steakhouse on the outside of it.
Yeah, this is a new business. This is what it's got, new business in parentheses. So it's
right across from Irons and Nails.
So this is where there was an approved steakhouse that there was an announcement, and then I guess that fell through, and then now there's going to be like a new speakeasy that's going in there. Interesting. I haven't seen that they're getting a tax abatement.
Have you not?
No.
I wonder if they know.
They may not know to ask for it.
So if anybody's listening and wants to tell them that, since they haven't actually opened yet, all they have to do is approach the city and, they can ask for one. Doesn't hurt to ask, right?
Well, the worst they can do is tell you no. And I know that whenever Irons and L's got it, that was like, oh, we're bringing something new to the city. We want to, invest in this. And this is a speakeasy.
And it said, I remember reading the thing, it said it had like walls that could move and just all kind of little cool stuff like that. So
definitely
it's something new and different. Right?
Definitely will bring... trying to bring some
more downtown life,
nightlife to the downtown area. So interesting to see how that's going to be. I'm excited to see it. So then we go into the consent calendar. A resolution to approve travel expenses for the personnel of the electric department for $46.64. Resolution to approve a 2025 Dodge Ram 1500 from the state bid list out of Prattville, $47,000. Resolution to approve the purchase of SIM guns for training for Walter Craig Law Enforcement Division for $10,869.58. Resolution to declare a 2017 Dodge Ram 2500 as a surplus and will go on public auction at GovDeals. Resolution to set a public hearing for the regular meeting on December 22nd to consider the request of the council for various proposed amendments concerning sections of the zoning ordinance of the city of Athens recommended by the Planning Commission. See where that is? That's that December 22nd.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see what does that entail, guys.
Yeah, and they're doing it the council meeting of Christmas break.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
right after my birthday.
Yeah.
Which is so close to Christmas that, as I was saying growing up, it's like I barely felt like I had a birthday that close to Christmas. And now we're doing a meeting right after Christmas. That's so close to Christmas. It's like, come on, guys.
And then there's another one. There's different sections, but it's for the same, it's the same verbiage. Let's see, there's different, it's concerning different sections about the Planning Commission, like by the Planning Commission. So there's another resolution to set a public hearing for the regular meeting on December 22nd to consider the request of the City Council for various proposed amendments concerning sections, various sections and tables and articles of the zoning ordinance. So they are going to have two public hearings for ordinance changes. So that is going to be interesting. The week of Christmas.
Very interesting.
It's funny. I had forgotten about that, and I said, "Oh, we'll see what they do at Christmas." That's going to be interesting. Resolution. Okay, now we get into the regular meeting. Resolution restating the map of the Square Arts and Entertainment District.
So that's expanding it, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So right in front of the farmer's market is this older building, and that's where that Ball's barbecue went. Mm-hmm. And then there's the old, what's the thing called? The newspaper.
The Athens News Courier?
Yeah, where it used to be, because, there used to be an actual newspaper here. They still publish the paper, but there's no actual news source here. It's all coming out of Coleman. So that building, they're making it part of the entertainment district as well. And what we've heard is that another local business that has outgrown their location is going to move in there. So that would be nice. So that's what it is, to extend, like the Blue Cup, the entertainment district, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So they're just expanding it down Jefferson Street, basically.
So then there's a resolution concerning an expand downtown the business grant program. So in July of, was it 24?
Yep.
They did, the city gave Athens Main Street $50,000 for this grant program. Now, every time they spend that $50,000, Athens Main Street brings it to the city, and the council votes on which businesses get it, because Rose Grill got money for a facade grant, Ale House got money for a facade grant, Bean Beans got money as a facade
Studio
grant.
16.
The Studio Cigar 16. They each of them got money for facade grants for their businesses through Athens Main Street that got this money from the city. So now they've increased that from $50,000 to $100,000. I know a couple businesses before actually got reimbursement from the mayor's general fund. He's given money to a couple businesses for outside patio seating. This was aside before the $50,000 grant program. So now it's going to be interesting because now they've doubled that. And
my notes say it's to help small business is what was said.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny that now, after all this stuff comes out about the tax abatements that help the large corporations, and now I feel like this is kind of reactive to that. But I'm happy because, like I say, there's no large businesses downtown. It's all mom and pop, small, local places.
Yeah.
So I'm just good, even if it is from all the abatement stuff coming out. I'm happy for it.
Well, it's going to be interesting because, with the $50,000, there was only a couple. And then, because most of our businesses down there are tenants, so they don't own their actual building.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just, I'm wondering if they're going to still be able to, is it going to go to the businesses? If you're just a tenant there, are you able to apply for the facade grants, to help that? Because I think from understanding it from the last time, the parameters were you had to actually own the building that your business was in. But yeah, I'm glad that they doubled that, because $50,000 for all of our businesses on the square. But it's almost like there needs to be a set price, because how do you only give $5,000 to one business and $20,000 to another? What?
You don't want to use the word strict or criteria, but some kind of criteria. Okay, everybody's getting, if you meet qualifications, everybody's getting 5, 10, whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Just
make it fair across the board.
Yeah.
Or I know this is going through Athens Main Street, but back to the tax abatements, you're really not losing anything. You're just not gaining anything if you give them, we're going to give you, thank you for investing in Athens. Thank you for investing downtown. Your first $5,000 in sales tax, we're going to waive it. You know what I mean? However, some standard. There just needs to be some across the board standard where it's not, you got to know to approach the council. You got to wait and see what they're going to give you, because the numbers have been all over the place. I know
it's very random. Irons and L's got $95,000 in tax abatement,
90 or 95,
and then High Plain Coffee, they got money too. And it, like you're saying,
it was 30,000 or something.
The differences were, it was all over the place. I think High Plain, they got a pretty sweet deal. I can't remember. I have to go back and actually look at it. I don't have it in front of me, but it's yeah, it's almost like there just needs to be something like set across the board. And even if, and just divide it out, like if you've got like a retail, like a boutique, or if it's a restaurant, or if it's a bar,
Exactly. Or how many jobs, based on how
yeah,
many
yeah, how
jobs.
many jobs,
Yeah, I
like,
mean, just criteria.
yeah, if it's, if you're going to have like 5 employees or less, like you get this. If you are retail, like there just needs to be a set, instead of it's almost like just like it pulls out of thin air, which granted, you don't, there's only been a few, very, very few mom and pop businesses that have actually gotten the abatement versus the large corporations that come in. So all of that to say, just a kind of little food for thought on the background of where that came from. Yes, it's a great thing. They upped it. They doubled it from July of 2024 from 50,000 to 100,000. Excited to see, that distribution and the sharing of the wealth, I guess, for our other small businesses on the square, because we do love to see our square thrive and all the businesses that are there. And yeah, so that's going to be
Shop local, right?
shop local. Ordinance amending for job titles for the utilities director of finance, some job changes on the org chart. Resolution to adopt a revised org chart for the public works department. We're adding a civil engineer, a light equipment operator, crew leader, equipment operator, and light equipment operator. Resolution to purchase 10 automatic external defibrillators with pediatric carry case and accessories from AED leaders for a total cost of $16,289 to be funded from the Alabama Mountains, Rivers, and Valleys, RCD.
So the question was asked, what about the fire trucks? All the fire trucks already have this equipment on them.
Okay.
And then the question was asked, okay, so this will equip several police cars, police vehicles. How much would it cost to equip all of them? And there was a very look is like, oh, it'd be a whole lot more. So this is just a small number of the fleet. But I think they talked about, I think that's when the city clerk said that there was money left over from opioid settlement.
Oh, yeah.
And that just a little bit of that had been spent, and that these things would qualify to be spent on that. And everybody seemed to love that would be a great idea. So I think they're going to explore that in the future, that potentially we can get them in every police vehicle.
Okay.
So,
resolution authorizing the city engineer to approve a change order on the US 72 and Mooresville Road improvements related to the following items. There is a borough excavation, 1,260 cubic yards, a roadway pipe class 3, in the amount not to exceed $87,040 to be funded from the 24 GO warrants.
and just remind everybody that's our third Publix.
Yeah, that's our other Publix.
On Mooresville Road.
And then there was a resolution to authorize the mayor to award the lowest responsible bidder, Grayson Carter & Sons Contracting, in the amount of $147,049.21 for the construction of US 72 and Hine Street pedestrian crossing.
So let's talk about that for a second. Read that wording again.
Resolution to authorize the mayor to award the lowest responsible bidder, Grayson Carter & Sons.
So I believe, to get a little bit ahead of ourselves, you got up and asked about that.
I did.
And why did you ask about that?
Well, over the last probably 6 or 8 months, we have done several public records requests, because we've been at these city council meetings, like we could almost hear them in our sleep, understand the wording. I mean, it took a little bit. Like I couldn't just go to one meeting and actually understand, because sometimes it sounds like it's in Greek. It's like, what are we doing here? And it goes back to whenever we had that guy with like the utilities that came, and he was like, why did you seek me out to put a bid in and I was like $400,000 cheaper.
Exactly.
And they, because of the way that it's written, it's like the lowest responsible bidder. That doesn't mean that you have to go with the lowest. And he was the lowest by like $400,000. And he's like, y'all sought me out. He's like, I left my like day job basically to go start my own company, but I brought people with me. Like, we've got all these years of experience. We're doing work in Huntsville. We're doing work in Madison. Like, the resume speaks for itself. They ended up like canceling that bid and said that they were going to, redo it. And we actually spoke to the guy afterwards. He's like, I mean, they have my bid information. Like, they know my numbers. Like, they can now go get somebody to come in and basically beat him. That's why
it's not even
that's why
worth
the
it.
process is the way it is. But now that they were going to redo it. So understanding that, so then we did our first public records request was to see the bids for Brawley Boulevard, which Grayson Carter and Sons won that one too. When we got,
which, if you're wondering where that's at, that's the new road beside Chick-fil-A.
So when we did that, they gave us all of this information. It was like this quote bid packet. We didn't know what we were asking for, but they gave us all this information. Grayson Carter and Sons was like, was it 150 or how much was it?
$400,000 less than Rogers Group and Wiregrass.
So the other guy was
and
400.
the others were within $50,000.
No, I'm talking about the utilities guy was also $400,000 difference.
Yeah, he was $400,000 less than the other ones.
So yeah, in what Rogers Group and Wiregrass are. Rogers Group and Wiregrass, they do business here. Rogers Group, I think they won the bid by Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's on like Lindsay Lane.
Maybe, but I know they won in front of Texas Roadhouse.
Yeah.
And they're also the ones doing the Mooresville Third Public.
So they do business here. So looking at it, we're like, my goodness, like, how is this price difference? Like, how is it so much? And so we actually talked to someone, and they were like, oh, you should do a request for a bid packet. And they gave us like 6 things to ask for. Mm-hmm. Do you have that list?
I don't right in front of me, but it's the bid packet, any change orders, where it was publicly advertised, all that stuff.
Yeah, there's like
we asked for that for the parking lot paving at the utilities, and they canceled it. But it's kind of like you have something and you don't know what it is until more facts come out. So it's like, wait a minute, we have all that information on Brawley Boulevard. Let's go look. And sure enough, everything that we needed to ask for was already there.
And you didn't even ask for it.
Yeah, I didn't even ask for it. I didn't even know. They just gave it to me.
So then when we started actually speaking to someone who told us what to ask for, then when we asked for it, they're like, oh, just kidding, we're canceling it. Mm-hmm. And this is for a simple utilities project. So it was like for $150,000 where Brawley Boulevard was
$1.4 million.
Yeah,
or something
so
like
for
that.
$150,000, they literally go cancel something, and then they say that the bid was too high. And then someone actually told us that Grayson Carter-Sons wouldn't even like touch it after that. And
so they ended up resealing the parking lot instead of paving it
for $20,000. So it's just very interesting that now it's like resolution authorized the mayor to award the lowest responsible bidder. They used to not put the lowest responsible bidder. They would just put the mayor to enter into a contract with the lowest bid. And so when I got up and spoke, I asked about that, and Shane Black gave me the lawyer jargon saying that that's how it's always worded. It's not going to change. But I just had asked, like, why is it changed now to like the lowest responsible bidder? Like, they just, anyways.
Well, it's kind of the same thing with at the very end where it says, talking about how they changed how the people can address something. Remember they changed that too? But said nothing changed, but then it completely changed.
Well, yeah, because now it's like reading of petitions, applications, complaints, and appeals, but it's always been that, but it's like what's allowed.
Yeah, they can end the meeting at any time if you say something they don't like.
Yeah, basically. So it's just kind of interesting that it's like we don't have to take the lowest bidder. Well, you never, you didn't, like, you didn't
Yeah.
take the other one. So anyways, it was just me. I got up and asked about that. And then I asked for clarification about the Athens Main Street grant program. And
then you asked, very important about our.
Oh, and I
Yeah.
did say that this meeting a year ago is when we cut off the live stream of public comments, and that since we had 2 new council members, Mr. Alan Creasy and Miss Amy Golden, if I wanted to get their take on if they were okay with having that cut off. And surprisingly, I was actually pleasantly surprised. I do think that Alan Creasy is going to be my new, I mean, it's,
you walked out and
Yeah,
he
'cause-
started talking, so I stopped because I was almost out of the building as well. And he said, "Yes, absolutely, we will look at this, and I think it should be back."
yeah.
And then Amy said basically the same thing. So yes, I'm with you. Like, Mr. Creasy, you've been the nicest to start with.
Yeah.
You would actually speak to us when nobody else would. And now, if you're going to actually, like, I don't want to say stand up against anything, but if you're going to actually ask questions, if you're going to just not say yes like everybody else.
He did ask. He asked for clarification on a few
On
of those.
some other things,
and
too.
I do
so.
think that if he
Now,
had,
now, hold on. Let's please not go after him because we say a positive word about him. We're just saying a couple of meetings in.
him and Cyber are way too good of friends. Like, nobody's going to turn on him.
I'm just saying. So we're not secretly lurking with Mr. Creasy or anything else like that. We're just saying so far we're pleasantly pleased with the direction.
I assume that
Yeah.
since they do their football talk show and they're such good friends, like we've never spoken to him outside of a public setting, but it was no secret Harold Wells was our favorite before, and he was also District 2. We didn't have any sort of personal relationship with him either, but I think that if Alan had said, because I always call him Mr. Creasy,
and he said he didn't like that.
He's like, don't call me that, like, call me Alan. So if Alan had said that he agrees with them being cut off, that it's not productive, I think that Amy Golden would have followed suit and said that she agreed. So I do take that as, like, I appreciate that he was like, we will definitely circle back to that and we will kind of dive in and dissect that. Because, I mean, in all honesty, in all the meetings that we went to, it is very normal to have disagreements. Like, I think it is very normal to have questions as a private citizen, and I think that you should not be.
There shouldn't be 75 meetings in a row where it's a 5-0 vote on everything with no discussion. I mean, I'm sitting beside the person I love the most in the world, and we have disagreements, and we don't agree with everything. Like, we see things differently. So you can't tell me that more diverse people just agree on everything. It's just an impossibility, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just, and then, so to go on, there was an add-on.
So it was add-ons for a CBG. It had, it was talking about that the city of Athens is going to have to pay more money for matching. And they didn't elaborate on what this is for, so this is purely my speculation. I'm wondering if this has something to do with that credit rating now.
Oh, yeah.
So we've got better credit, so the state is like, oh, so now you can pay more. So instead
but we don't know for sure.
Yeah, this is just my speculation. So instead of an 80-20 match, this is going to be a 70-30 match. So, just 10% more, but still, I'm just wondering if moving forward with state matches, that it's going to be a 70-30 moving forward, or was this just a special circumstance? I guess this goes back to if you provided more clarification, there wouldn't be any speculation. But that's just my speculation at the moment, just seeing this.
Yeah.
So now the Food City project is going to cost some more because instead of an 80-20 split for the road improvements, it's going to be a 70-30.
So any sort of other grant money that comes in or something
Potentially,
like that?
probably the same thing.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, yep.
Okay. Well, and that is the end of this meeting. So we've got 2 more coming up to finish out the end of the year. We've got some exciting stuff coming up. I know county elections are coming up next, we will continue to mention that and dive some more into that.
And if any elected official, any Joe on the street, really anybody, we'll talk to anybody at this point, wants to come on and talk about anything, please reach out to us. We're always looking for guests and always happy to have you.
We are diving into some stuff with Sugar Creek. We've had tons of people reach out with information about that. We have a lot of behind the scenes things that are going on right now, a lot of things coming up in the next few months. And then we've got Mr. Daryl Samet. He just passed away, District 1 County Commissioner. He battled a long road of cancer, and they are in the process of appointing someone as the interim until primaries in May, and then the actual election will be in November. And then District 3, Mr. Gatlin's seat is up and chairman is up. And
it's already getting interesting.
It's already getting good. So, anyways, lots of things in the works. The Limestone Lowdown at yahoo.com if you ever want to reach out. And as always, guys, thanks so much for listening. So, till next time.
And that's a wrap for this episode of the Limestone Lowdown, where we break down the issues, keep you informed, and give you facts straight from the source. Remember, your voice matters. Your vote counts, and your community thrives when we stay engaged. Stay tuned, stay informed, and stay involved. Until next time, keep questioning, keep advocating, and keep shaping the future of the Limestone area. We'll see you on the next Limestone Lowdown.